Trying to out-argue someone who has shown you disrespect is like trying to wash a pig in the hope that it will become a human while you yourself are knee-deep in its filth. Schopenhauer argued that intelligence and nobility of soul are the highest values that cannot be explained to those born to crawl in the dust of their ignorance. Your excuses and your rage are merely fuel for the ego of someone who is not worthy of even a shadow of your attention. Either you erect an icy wall of absolute indifference, or you officially recognize yourself as the equal of the person who just spat in your face. You feel this internal fire spreading through your veins like toxic acid. Every second of your silence in the presence of the offender feels like an eternity filled with shame. You stand before him, and it seems to you that everyone around sees your humiliation as clearly as you do. Your ears burn, and the sounds around you become muffled, leaving you alone with the pulsing noise of your own blood in your temples. You feel your skin becoming sticky, and your clothes begin to feel tight and uncomfortable, as if they have suddenly turned into a straitjacket. This is the physical manifestation of your inability to control the situation and your dependence on how you are evaluated by the non-entity standing opposite you. Your pain is fueled by the illusion that you must prove something. You feel hundreds of arguments being born in your brain, each more lethal than the last. You imagine how your words cut through the air and force the aggressor to fall silent, recognizing your superiority. But this is a trap of your ego, which craves not the truth but recognition from someone you yourself consider unworthy. You feel your internal organs tightening into a hard knot, making it difficult for you even to swallow. This is a spasm of the fear of being rejected by society, an ancient instinct of an exile who is afraid of losing his place at the campfire. But there is no campfire here. There is only a dirty puddle you are being dragged into, and you feel your feet already beginning to slide along the edge. Remember that feeling of emptiness that washes over you after the conflict is exhausted, and you still have not found the strength to respond with dignity. You feel mentally raped because you allowed someone else's will to dominate your emotional state. Your hands involuntarily clench into fists in your pockets, and you feel your nails digging into your palms, leaving red crescents. This is your rage at yourself for not being firm enough, for allowing this moment to steal your peace. You feel your spine as if it is turning into soft clay, unable to hold your body in a vertical position. You feel crushed, even though there is not a single scratch on you. Your pain is the cry of your true self, which you have locked in the basement of your politeness. You feel this internal prisoner beating against the walls, demanding blood and retribution. You sense your nervous system working at its limit, sending alarm signals to every limb. Your knees might start to tremble, and you exert colossal effort to hide this shaking from outside eyes. This is physical exhaustion that comes instantly depriving you of strength for work, for creativity, for life. You feel your charisma fading as your face turns into a gray mask of fatigue. You feel like an old man even if you are young, because the weight of unexpressed grievances ages your heart faster than any disease. Feel how your energy of attention, which should have been building your empire, is now spent on analyzing every detail of this short act of disrespect. You feel your brain turning into a powerful supercomputer, occupied with a single and absolutely useless task. You analyze the tone of his voice, the tilt of his head, every word that was thrown in your direction. This is a feeling of mental overload where you cannot focus on anything else. You feel your productivity drop to zero, while your dreams and goals seem distant and unimportant compared to this momentary wound. You feel like a slave to this moment, a slave to this person who does not even realize what power he has gained over you. Your pain becomes your only compass, but it points north in the Antarctic desert of your despair. You feel the cold emanating from your heart and spreading throughout your body. You want to scream, to lose your voice, to break something, just to release this tension, but you stand motionless, and this stillness costs you incredible effort. You feel your spirit breaking under the weight of this invisible oppression. You feel betrayed by life itself for allowing such a creature to stand in your way. This is a feeling of cosmic injustice that squeezes your throat with icy fingers. Do you see in your palms a tool of creation or only a means to defend against the blows of fate? You feel your faith in people evaporating, leaving behind only the acrid bitterness of cynicism. But this cynicism does not protect you. It only makes your wound more inflamed. You feel your soul becoming covered in coarse scars that prevent you from feeling joy and inspiration. You feel like a fortress under siege from all sides, and you do not know if you have enough supplies to withstand this assault. This is a physical sensation of resource depletion where you realize your psyche is operating at the very edge of its capabilities. Your pain is the price you pay for your openness in a world where most people are merely biological machines driven by instincts of dominance. You feel how your humanity becomes your curse and the need to close off to hide behind armor of indifference. You feel how your mind continues to seek excuses for your inaction, calling it wisdom or forgiveness. But your body knows the truth and feels this humiliation as a physical burn that does not go away for weeks. Feel how your thoughts about disrespect turn into an obsessive noise that prevents you from hearing the music of life. You feel like a person standing on the edge of a cliff where the mocking laughter of your detractors rises from below. You feel dizzy from this height and from the realization of how easy it is to fall down into the abyss of retaliatory aggression. Your pain is a warning that you are losing connection with your center, with your inner God. You feel how your internal hierarchy is collapsing, and you find yourself at the very bottom under the heel of those you despised. Feel how your will to power turns into a will to suffering. You begin to find a strange masochistic satisfaction in irritating your wound. You feel like a martyr, although in reality, you are simply a victim of your own disorganization and weakness. This is a feeling of complete disorientation, where you do not know who is your friend and who is your enemy, because your perception is distorted by pain. You feel how your life turns into an endless process of healing wounds instead of being a process of conquering new heights. Your pain is a reminder that you are still alive, but this life seems like an unbearable burden to you. You feel how every breath is difficult, as if the air has become dense and viscous. Your existence turns into a struggle for every millimeter of your mental space. You feel how your time, this most valuable currency of the universe, is spent serving the interests of your enemies. You feel robbed, and this sense of loss deprives you of sleep and peace. Your pain is your only possession in this world of shadows, and you hold on to it, fearing to be left in complete emptiness. Feel this limit. Feel this point of no return where your pain must either destroy you or turn you into something completely different. Why does the world punish you so cruelly for trying to defend yourself with words? Arthur Schopenhauer, in his fundamental work, Aphorisms on the Wisdom of Life, gives an icy and sobering answer. He claims that honor is external conscience and conscience is internal honor. When you enter into an argument with a person who has shown you disrespect, you voluntarily hand your external conscience over to someone who lacks internal conscience. You're trying to play chess with a pigeon who simply knocks down the pieces, shits on the board, and flies away looking like a winner. Your mistake lies in a fundamental misunderstanding of human nature. Schopenhauer explicitly stated that stupidity and malice prevail in the world, and expecting the majority to recognize your merits is like expecting a blind man to evaluate a painting. The psychological mechanism of your pain lies in the so-called Dunning-Kruger effect. An aggressor who shows disrespect is often at the peak of stupidity, which does not allow him to realize the scale of your personality. He sincerely believes in his right to rudeness because his cognitive abilities are limited by primitive instincts of dominance. You enter into a dispute, descending to the level of someone who should not even be in your field of vision. Schopenhauer claimed that your desire to be understood by everyone is your greatest weakness. Forgiveness and dialogue are tools for equals. For those who have crossed the line of respect, there is only the cold of your absence. The first step to your new sovereignty is the cessation of any verbal defense. Your silence should be as heavy as an obsidian slab falling on the grave of your previous relationship with the offender. This is not the silence of a victim who is afraid to speak. It is the silence of a judge who has already passed the sentence and no longer sees the point in discussion. The second step is the total devaluation of the opponent's figure. Use the technique of cognitive distancing. Imagine that before you is not a person, but a malfunctioning biological mechanism that is making noise. You do not get angry at a broken vacuum cleaner. You simply ignore its noise or turn it off. The third step is the return of attention to yourself. Every time your brain returns to the scene of disrespect, forcefully redirect the flow of thoughts to your current goals. Schopenhauer emphasized that our peace of mind depends on how much we can abstract ourselves from the opinions of others. Your goal is to reach a state where the words of the aggressor do not even reach your consciousness. You are a mountain, and the insults are just the wind that cannot move a single stone of your foundation. The fourth step is visual and energetic isolation. Do not look the offender in the eye. Look through him as if through a piece of dirty glass. Your gaze should be a manifestation of absolute emptiness. The fifth step is the cultivation of internal pride. Remember your victories, your strengths, and the distance that separates you from the source of disrespect. You are an aristocrat of the spirit, and your time is too expensive to spend on the noise of commoners. Schopenhauer called for aristocratic solitude for a reason. It is better to be in a void than to fill yourself with other people's garbage. Become inaccessible. Let people exert effort to gain access to you. The sixth step is the transformation of your reaction into a black hole. When you are faced with disrespect, do not respond with words. Do not respond with a look. Do not respond even with a thought. Your goal is to reach such a level of internal gravity that any attempt to offend you simply disappears in your field without leaving a trace. You are no longer part of their game. You are the architect of your own reality, and in this reality, the figure of the offender simply does not exist. Schopenhauer wrote that a person of high spirit is like a sun that shines regardless of whether there are people around who can see its light. Your internal value is absolute and does not depend on the recognition of the crowd. Feel this freedom from the opinions of others as a cold, refreshing wind that fills your lungs. You have ceased to be a wash basin for other people's emotions. You have become a diamond that can cut through any glass of social expectations. Your no is now a final verdict that is not subject to appeal. Your silence is your shield and your sword. You have realized that you do not need to prove anything to those who are not capable of understanding the proof. Your time of being a victim of your own politeness is over. You have entered the inner circle of those who rule their lives in absolute silence. Your internal gravity is so strong that any attempts to attack you only emphasize the insignificance and fragility of the attacker. You do not negotiate with the serf. You simply stand in your majestic solitude, obeying only the laws of eternity and your will. You are the sole architect of your internal space, and in its sacred halls, there is no room for the din of random passers-by. Be ice. Be cosmic vacuum, be absolute zero in which any attempt to unbalance you instantly freezes. Your silence is your only and indisputable crown. Now you have full knowledge of how to turn any disrespect into dust and ashes. Your silence is not a deficit of words, it is an excess of your punishing and creative will. If you are ready to finally break the shameful contract with the image of a convenient and soft person, welcome to the order of Machiavellian Stoicism. Leave complaints to weak creatures and excuses to those who fear their own shadow to the point of trembling. Your path as a sovereign began at the very moment you realized that your silence speaks of you 1,000 times louder than any slogans or manifestos. Welcome to a reality where your icy silence is the highest currency of power and a sign of true aristocracy of spirit. Your hour has struck. Let your silence become their most terrifying and inevitable nightmare.